And we are back now with Marco Rubio, U.S. Senate candidate. And Mr. Rubio, let's talk about this plan that the governor advanced almost 2 years ago to try to buy. At that time, it was $1.7 billion for a couple 100,000 acres of sugar land south of Lake Okeechobee. Now it's down to $536 million, still a big figure, and about 77,000 acres. Now, you have said you oppose this, among other reasons, because Florida Crystals, the other big landowner up there, has been shut out of the deal, not allowed to negotiate, according to them. And yet, if sheetwater flow to the Everglades is not restored, and this is about the only way to do it, how else are the Everglades going to be saved?
Michael, it's not the only way to do it, and I support Everglade restoration efforts. In fact, when Jeb Bush was governor of Florida and I was in the legislature, year after year we were supportive of serious science-based efforts to restore the Everglades. This plan is not based on science. This plan is based on politics. And here's the sad part about it. We are canceling good projects. We are canceling projects that were already in the pipeline.
Those huge holding ponds that are
reservoirs and all sorts of things. We are canceling scientifically proven projects to restore the Everglades in exchange for this massive buy of land that no one can justify scientifically, especially not at the price. And here's the saddest part about it. Not only are those projects being canceled, but the water district is perhaps going to have to raise property taxes on our viewers, the people watching this program, to pay for this project that is not nearly the scientific value of the other projects that were already underway and had to be interrupted. It's just not the right thing to do.
Is the fact that U.S. Sugar, who is a huge beneficiary, and they're getting a very sweet deal, as it were, the fact that they've been a big contributor to Charlie Crist, and their lobbyists who in Tallahassee have raised huge amounts of money for him, does that sort of taint this deal as well?
U.S. Sugar's we've supported agriculture in the past. U.S. Sugar has been an important agricultural component of our economy. This is nothing against U.S. Sugar or about U.S. Sugar.
They've contributed to your political committees.
But what it has to do is not about U.S. Sugar, it's not about Florida Crystals, it's about the Everglades. And this is not the best use of our tax dollars for restoring the Everglades, and scientists say that.
Mr. Rubio, as you well know, the Obama administration and the Attorney General have said now for over a year that people accused of terrorist acts against the United States can be tried in U.S. federal courts, open courts, and if convicted, held in U.S. prisons in this country, that military tribunals are really not the way to go. They backed off a little bit with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, it appears, but what is your opinion? Where should accused terrorists be tried?
They should be tried in front of military tribunals, and they should be tried as enemy combatants, which is what they are. A street criminal is someone who targets an individual. The people who are committing terrorist acts against America are targeting our nation. They are enemy combatants. They consider themselves to be enemy combatants, and they need to be tried as enemy combatants in front of criminal courts, military courts.
All right, not U.S. district courts like the one that was going to be held in New York.
Right.
All right, let me ask you about guns. Marion Hammer, who is the leader of the NRA in Florida, says you are suspect on the Second Amendment. Although you voted for, as the House Speaker, the bill that would allow the Floridians who are licensed to have guns to take them in their cars to work and leave the guns in the parking lots. Are you,
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for Marion Hammer. She is an advocate for the Second Amendment, as am I, and she's a supporter of Charlie Crist, and she has the right to be an outspoken supporter of Charlie Crist. That's her right. The facts are something else. I have a consistent record, in fact, an undeniable record of voting consistently on behalf of Second Amendment issues, of voting consistently with the position her organization took. In fact, it was under my speakership that one of the most important pieces of legislation she wanted was passed. So, I understand her personal preferences, but my record is my record.
If you get to Washington and there were a proposed bill, as there was during the Clinton years, to ban the sale of assault rifles, assault weapons, would you vote for or against?
I would vote against that.
All right, let me ask you about a debate with Charlie Crist. Earlier this month, Meet the Press invited both of you to come on, and you declined because you said you had promised Fox News to go first, I believe, on March 28th. Is that debate going to take place?
It is, and what happened, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's an opportunity to talk about the important issues our country's facing. You know, by the end of this year, the United States of America will have over $12 trillion of debt, and we have to figure out what we don't think that's not good news for our future. It's going to diminish our children's opportunities going forward, our grandchildren's children's opportunities going forward. This is a serious issue that faces America, and I hope we can talk about serious issues like that during that debate.
And you believe Charlie Crist is trying to play small ball in this campaign, talk about little niggling issues, and you want to talk about big
Well, listen,
issues?
my campaign from the very beginning has been built on things like the fact that we have a tax code that does not encourage competitive growth in the American economy, a debt that no one has any plan for how to solve, runaway government spending, national security threats that are as serious as anything this government has ever faced. We spend 99% of our campaign talking about these things. I hope the other candidates will join us in that conversation.
These are critical issues, and I invite you to come back with Governor Crist maybe sometime in August. Sure. I know we've got a statewide network all ready to go for that debate, and I look forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it, too.
Okay, Marco Rubio, thanks as always.
Thanks,
Enjoyed it. All right, stay with us.